Tokyo nights, neon lights, lost in the city, another life. Drinking sake, feeling right. Got faded in Japan, what a sight.
What's up, faders? Welcome to yet another action-packed episode of Got Faded Japan, and I am your host, Johnny.
And I'm your co-host, Tom Tokyo. I'm back again.
That's right. Welcome back, Tom.
Thank you. Good to be back. Cheers.
Cheers. And as you fine folks know, Got Faded Japan is about two dudes, booze,
Japan and the news.
That is right. That is right. And this is episode number 746. All right. And
getting
faders,
up there, dude.
We are getting up there.
Yeah.
And faders, this is the all news episode. We're going to do a lot of news in this episode. But before we do the news, I got to give some information to you guys. Tom is leaving the hood. Tom, you're leaving the south side of Tokyo.
I think we should maybe save that for next episode because it's up in the air right now. But most likely, but I don't like to tell a partially finished story, and the story's not finished yet. So
you want me to bring up the whole moving thing after you've already moved?
Well, when it's finalized.
Okay, all right. So Tom is
teaser for the next episode.
Okay, well, Tom is considering moving. He's moving. And the thing is, I wanted to talk to you about the process of moving, because a lot of people that are listening to this podcast and watching us on YouTube, they're interested in coming to Japan. Uh-huh. Now, a lot of people that come to Japan, they just want to come here. They just don't care about how they come here. They don't care about the logistics or anything like that. They want to come here and figure it out. But the thing is, a lot of those people, when they do come here, they wind up staying at a guest house. Mm. And a guest house is basic. Well, what is a guest house, Tom?
It's a dormitory for foreigners.
It's a dormitory for foreigners.
Some allow Japanese people in there, some do not, depending. Yeah. You did a different route than I did because you've been all in Tokyo. Your story, your story's different from mine.
Yeah. But a lot of people come here and they do the whole guest house thing. Mm. And the whole guest house thing has its pros and cons. Mm. Some people love it because it's easy, it's cheap, it's convenient. Some people dislike it because you're in a dormitory and you're sharing what do you share generally?
Generally your living room space. You've got your own private room. It's a dormitory. You share the kitchen and the toilets and whatnot. Okay. And there's usually a common room area.
Okay, and what are some pros? All right, in your opinion, so wait. First off, how many of these share houses or guest houses did you live in?
One, I lived in 2.
You lived in 2, both in Tokyo?
Oh, sorry. 3.
Ooh.
3, all in 3.
Okay, so you lived in 3 guest houses. Yeah. Were they all in Tokyo?
Yes.
Okay, great. And in your opinion, what were some of the pros and cons?
Every place is different. But course, if you got the right place and the right mix of people, they're generally good. But some of them are fucking filthy because kids do not. We're talking about little kids, basically barely 18.
Little kids, 18.
Well, I would call them fucking little kids. But
dude, half my friends are 18.
Do not fucking clean up after themselves and fucking trash the place. And I can honestly say I'm not the cleanest person in the world, but some of these places were fucking filthy.
Really, all
but.
Right.
I have seen the one that next door to Womb was fucking awesome. If you got the right mix of people, it was mostly guys, and we had each other's backs. We helped each other out. We looked out for one another. It was a good environment. In fact, when I was that age, if you're under 30, I couldn't understand why anyone would want to move into an apartment. It's this is fucking great communal living. Yeah, we can share this. We all party together. We're all doing cool shit.
Yeah,
and then because of. And wind the clock later, I had to leave that situation. Got into another bad situation with the crazy belly dancing ex-girlfriend. And then had to move back to a guest house when I was over 30. Oh, I was get me the fuck out of here.
Okay, so you're saying that the whole guest house thing is a young man's game.
Yeah, it is a young man. But, I think it's great. If you're new to Japan and you're in your 20s, fucking absolutely do it. Because, you can go out... It's one of the nicer ones. You can go out and you can network and meet people and, meet the right kind of crowd. And people will happily show you around and, what's what. Here's a good bar. Here's, a good, cheap supermarket. Here's what you need to know in the area.
Cool. Very cool. Very cool.
Also, the dating pool. I got, warnings for some of the girls. Ooh, that one's a little bit risky. I would stay clear of her. And I listened. Because there's some
really?
Yeah, some
I don't think so.
No. I dodged a couple of bullets there.
Really, I don't know.
This is maybe a story for another day. But yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
but,
so
Yeah, it's interesting.
So it's got its good points, and of course it's got its bad points. So is it similar to like a dormitory in college? Because I lived in a dormitory in college.
Yes and no. I don't even know. Well,
Did you live in a dormitory in college?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, then is this
longer than I should? Oh, they kicked me out. Too much partying.
All right, yeah. So, Jesus. So, okay. So, is it similar to a dormitory in college?
Like, yes and no. Like, how do I even answer that question? Like,
by telling me what's the difference.
What's the difference? Like, it was great when I was in Japan because like I actually had a job and was actually making money.
Okay.
So I had more money to play around with and party with. So it was like college with more responsibility, but like more money to party with and just go nuts.
Okay,
that doesn't
answer any of my questions. Okay, so what are the differences between a dormitory in college and in a dormitory or a guest house in Japan? Because
just the general experience. Because in college, like you're basically like, isn't that what people do to go to college? Like, yeah, to study and to get a degree and blah blah blah. But you also go there to quote unquote find yourself. You know what I'm talking about? Because you know like what the fuck you want to do with your life.
Yeah, I understand college.
But when I was in Japan, like I found myself enough. I still wasn't sure where I was going, but I like had like some wisdom and experience under my belt, and you know, again, was working full time, so more money to play around with. So it was like, in a bigger city, so it was a lot more fun.
All right, okay, all right. So, all right, let me ask you, a dormitory in like college, usually you have like a room that you share with somebody else. It's usually 2 to 4 people in a bedroom, right, or like in a room.
Yeah.
But guest house, is it the same thing where you have a room that you share with people, or do you have your own specific room?
You can share some of the rooms. I think in most cases everyone has their own single room.
Okay,
they're not.
We go.
They're not huge. Like looking around my kitchen, I guess like we're on camera, but let's not show the entire kitchen, but it's decent size.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
It's a fucking dormitory. And also welcome to Japan. Everything's fucking smaller and cuter.
Okay, so everything's smaller. So the guest house in Japan are smaller than a dormitory. Okay, cool. What about the bathroom situation? Like in America, we've got American style toilets. But in Japan, in a guest house, do you have like Japanese style toilets, or do they have Western
I would
style?
imagine some do, some don't. Like you're talking about the squatty potties.
The squatty potties, yeah.
I've never been in one that had one, but I know some do.
Some do. Okay, if you go in the countryside, okay.
Yeah.
And
that's very much like a. Yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a countryside thing, I think.
Okay, all right.
Because like you mostly have the Western like sit down toilets.
Okay, what about like utilities? Like for example, electricity, internet, heating, that kind of stuff. Do you pay for that, or do you pay like a percentage, or is that included in your I guess your guest house rent?
Everyone's different. I think generally speaking, you usually pay your own electricity, but for and internet as well.
Yeah,
but
you pay your own internet. Wow.
Some
would assume that would be free.
Some do, some then again some do, some don't.
Yeah, okay.
I think it depends on the place to say, but generally speaking, I think you usually pay your own electricity, which is not going to be a lot because like you're in a small room.
Yeah,
you're not using a ton of electricity.
Okay, cool.
I hope not.
All right, awesome. And if you do share like an apartment, like I guess like a guest house room with someone, is it like bunk beds or is it like separate beds?
I've never shared a room with somebody.
Okay. What about
the one I lived, the Sakura house, I lived next door to Womb. I know some people did, but there are no bunk beds.
Okay.
It's just like, you know.
Oh, that'd be awkward in that area. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the?
But like I mean, everybody like shared a room, like they were friends before. So
okay.
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna share a room, someone make sure you know them, like really well, because like I've been in living situations, and you probably have too, where like oh we're good friends and everything, everything's gonna work out, and like you know everything's be cool, you know it'll be awesome, and then like when you actually live together, like everything comes out.
Well, there's a lot of con artists, Western like international people that are in Japan that are con artists. You got to be very careful of con artists in this country.
So I wouldn't want to
the gaijin that live here. Some of them are just really dirty.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. There's some scammers that come over here.
There are some horrible scammers. Everybody's got a story. I've got one.
I agree with you, but at the same time, the ones that have been here long term, I think they tend to be pretty honest and straight shooters.
Well, we both got scammed. So, but anyway, that's a different story. Anyway,
story for another time. I agree.
Definitely. Oh my god. But anyway, so okay, what about the flooring? Is the flooring tatami or regular?
Depends on the place.
Depends on the place.
A lot of them are tatami, I think.
Okay. If you had to, let's say you had a weird situation. Let's say, all right, you're married. You've got a wonderful wife. You've got a beautiful kid. But let's just say they had to go live with like their parents or live with her parents for like 6 months or 2 years or something like that, or something weird, and you had to live on your own for a small amount of time. Would you live in a guest house or would you get your own apartment?
Fuck no, I'd get my own apartment.
You get your own apartment? Oh, wow.
I'm too old for that shit, dude.
I might do a guest house.
Dude, I'm 44 right now, man. I'm approaching the age where it's like, yo, get off my fucking lawn, kids. I can't take it, man.
Get off my lawn! Oh man, that's you look like that guy.
I know, right?
You need a beard.
I'm not trying to be an asshole, but like, I think a couple weeks ago, like when I finished work, I think it was on Saturday. I was out minding my own business, and I was just like, out like drinking a beer, as the last time you saw me, but down by the river.
Down by the river.
Well, it's a fucking nice place, dude.
I pay
a lot of money to live in this area. I might as well fucking enjoy the spoils of it.
You should.
But group of like maybe half a dozen gaijin, like obviously younger in their 20s, like rock up. They start talking, and I just like pull.
They start talking to you?
No. They're just talking to each other, and like randomly, I just kind of pull them. It's like, oh, what's going on here? Maybe it should be a little bit more friendly or whatever. Just listen to the conversations. They were fucking stupid. I'm sorry, man. I'm just like, put my earbud back in. I'm like, I don't fucking want to talk to them because they were dumb, and I'm just like listening to them.
A big group of international tourists, or
no, they weren't tourists. They lived here. They were English teachers and some other shit. And I was just
they had like weird.
I was just like, I was like listening to them, and I'm like, God damn it! I hope when I was that age, I wasn't that fucking dumb. But I was.
You were. Oh yeah, you were.
There is a strong possibility that you're right.
All right. Devil's advocate. Who isn't dumb when they're in their 20s, like early 20s? I've made a lot of dumb decisions. Oh my god! I went to Vegas. I blew all my cash. Oh god, that was smart.
Oh, I did some pretty dumb shit. When I was in my 20s,
jeez, yeah. I mean, you're supposed to do dumb shit in your 20s because you learn from it. So when you're in your 30s, you do less dumb stuff.
I fucking agree with you. Like that's.
And then your 40s, you do just a little less dumb stuff. And then when you're 50s, hopefully you're golden. But I don't know. We'll find out if we make it. No.
I agree with you 100%, man. When you're younger, like. Go out, drink too much, do stupid stuff, make some bad decisions, but fucking learn from them. The only takeaway from that I ever do kind of makes me a hypocrite is like I didn't learn from some of the bad decisions. Yeah, you got to make those. You got to get in trouble a couple of times sometimes, right?
Sometimes
you gotta fucking wake up and like go, how the fuck did I get here? And look next to you and see like a naked woman going, oh shit, I don't remember talking to her. How the fuck did we get here? Like, one of those drunken random hookups. You're like, ooh. She puts her hand on you and she's got like a wedding ring on. You're like, oh my god, I got married. Hangover. Come on, we're just ripping that off. Yeah. All right, but okay. Did you do that once, maybe twice? I would say for both. I'm not discriminating for both genders. Do that once, maybe twice. Don't do it as many times as I've done it because I've done it way too many times. Yeah, and only one of them was alive. Right. Okay. All right. No dead hookers in this hotel. Yeah. Right. Okay. So now, all right. After you lived in the guest houses, you manned up and then you got your own apartment, right? Yes. And you did that on your own. This was like before you were married. So tell me about like getting at your own apartment. What was that process like? Because there's a lot of people that are coming to Japan that don't want to do the guest house thing. They're like, you know what? I've been there, done that. I just want to get an apartment. I want to find a job, and I just want to like have a life in Japan for a while. So, dude, that's a beast to do because like basically. There's no nice way to sugarcoat it, so I'm just going to say it, but, like, your gaijin in Japan, like, Tokyo and some of the bigger cities are more open-minded, but, like, there's no, like, anti-discrimination laws, so any potential landlord can say, fuck off, gaijin, you're not living here, and that's that, and there ain't a goddamn thing you can... Well, legally speaking, the worst thing you can do is like write a letter to like one of the advocacy agencies, and like they'll probably send them a sternly worded letter than telling them to be more open minded. But like, it's not help out because a lot of places will say no gaijin, fuck off. Period. Yeah, of course. But I mean, that's a given. This is not like America or something. But the thing is, okay. Now, with that being said, how do you find an apartment in Japan? My situation was like a little bit different because... Okay, all right. Then let me just tell you my situation. Then this is how you do it, okay?
So, all right, if you want to find an apartment in Japan, what you got to do is you got to go online and you got to find a real estate company that uses English, right? If they have a website that says English, Japanese, Chinese, you're golden. Now, the thing is, though, as Tom said, a lot of places don't let foreigners live in the building just because they've had problems in the past or they're kind of racist. Now, the thing is, when you do find a building that says foreigners are okay, like this place here, usually you, all right, so basically, all right, this is what happens. From point A to point B. You find the real estate agency, you go there, you have like a little meeting, you tell them exactly what you want. You're like, I have this amount of money and I want this kind of a place with this many bedrooms and this kind of flooring and stuff. And you just be completely honest, and then you give them a couple of like ideas of like, where do you want to live? You're like, I want to live like near Shibuya. I want to live like 15 minutes away from the station. I want a parking spot. I want this, that, and the other thing, right? And they're like, okay, and they'll be on their computer as you're talking, and then they'll find like a list of like maybe anywhere from 5 to 20 different like locations. And then they'll ask you, they'll say, listen, we can go to these locations now, or if you want, we can set up an appointment. And you're like, let's go now. And they always have a car. So you hop in a car and they'll drive you from like place to place to place to place to place. And then you go to all those places and then you choose one, right? You can choose one on the spot, or you can have like a week or so to think about it. But this being Tokyo, a lot of times if you go home and you think about it, that place is gone, right? So if you're really serious about a spot and you really have the cash, then go for it. I highly recommend that because you will lose the location. Now, once you get the location,
but
then
it's just sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
But it's a fucking lot to say like, am I gonna jump on this? Because like normally, if you're gonna make a big decision like that, you want one night to sleep on it.
Well, you can. They give you that opportunity.
You might get that, but like they're just gonna tell you if somebody rocks up in here and like pays the deposit, like they're in this place is off the market.
Well, yeah, that's their job. I mean, it's like with a car or with anything else. Careful, like on the table. Now, the thing is this. Then okay, so then let's say you're gonna rock one of these apartments. Like, I want this apartment. This one's mine. They're like, great, fantastic. So then, it's basically, after that, it's just like renting an apartment anywhere else, And then, I mean, you got to pay down first month's, last month's rent, plus a deposit, which is like a month's rent. And then some places, you got to give key money.
Most places?
Well, no, not most places, not anymore.
My experience.
Well, things have changed. So the thing is, they have key money. Now, key money is like thank you money. And it's like basically
bullshit.
Well, yeah, okay. And basically, it's been around since like the end of World War II. But the thing is, it's like thank you money, and it's like thank you for letting me stay in your building.
No. I'm sorry, but like, let's just call it what it is. It's basically a legal bribe to say thank you for giving me the privilege of staying in your apartment.
It's not a bribe.
It's a legal bribe.
But, well, no, it's not
a bullshit.
Do you know what a bribe is? Because the thing is, once you sign a contract, you don't have to give them... Technically, you don't have to give them any money, but you do anyway because there's key money involved and it's part of the contract.
When you renew the contract.
So, no, okay, when you renew the contract. But if you renew the contract in a lot of places, like in the States or whatever, you still have to pay a little bit more money.
Not here, man.
No, here you got to do that too.
Yeah,
man, have you ever lived anywhere?
I absolutely. Here's the thing. Like, okay, what you're saying is basically 100% accurate. But like, I've been...
No, it is.
No, it is.
I've lived in nine different places in Tokyo.
I've lived in more, but like, I'm just saying, in my situation,
how many parks?
in my situation, like, I found a workaround because like I've been out and networked, and like, I lived in like some guest houses before, and then I lived with a crazy ex-belly dancer. I wasn't supposed to be there because there's no gaijin allowed apartment. But blah 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 blah. Go through all that, but like then after that, like I was like, okay, like I need to find my own place. What I did is like I networked, and like one of my good buddies was like told me about a good corporation that's run by Americans, and you don't have to deal with all the fucking bullshit, and it was actually fucking cool. So I just like, he's like, dude, they're cool, man. They'll actually give your deposit back, as long as you clean the place up, because like your deposit, you might as well kiss that shit bye. They'll find ways to fuck you out of it.
Well, but I mean, all landlords do that all over the world.
Not the place I was dealing at before, like not this place.
Landlords always take your deposit.
Yeah, I know, but like. Not the last place I lived in.
The last place they were tearing it down.
Yeah, but even before I extorted another company, but the one before that, like they were good people, man.
Okay, that's cool.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I butted heads with the building manager a couple times, but at the end of the day, he's still my friend. I went drinking with him a couple times.
All right, that's cool.
It was cool, man.
All right, cool. So what's your point?
They let me use the fucking rooftop.
It's true. Wait, so what's your point?
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying, if you've been here long enough, you can usually find, like, through connections or this or that, you can.
But no, this isn't for people that. People that lived here for like 10 years or whatever. I mean, they already know how to find an apartment. We're doing this because of like, there's a lot of people that are listening to the show and like watching this show that don't know how to do this. So that's what we're doing. So the thing is, okay, if you
okay.
If you. All right, you can call Tom, and Tom's going to hook you up with an American place.
The company went out of business, man.
It went out of business? I thought it was a great company.
It was a great company.
The best company in the world, ladies and gentlemen. It was absolutely fantastic until they went broke.
I'm also going to tell you, they do have English-speaking realtors that will help you out and hook you up.
Yeah.
At the same time, like, I literally just talked with one last week. I'm not saying, like, the Chinese lady that I talked to was bad or anything. She was nice and she was professional. But at the same time, like... the options she was showing me weren't that great, and they were kind of overpriced. My wife's like, this. I don't have all the information yet, but we're going tomorrow to talk to a couple other realtors. It was because my wife is Japanese. I just like let her fucking take care of it.
Wait, it was a Chinese company?
No, it was just like lady I talked to was Chinese, but she spoke fluent English.
All right.
I don't know why I mentioned she's Chinese. Why did I mention she's Chinese white? Because she was, but she spoke fluent English.
Well, I don't know. I thought like when you said that, it was because you were kind of like hinting that it was a Chinese company.
I don't know. Like I think it's an international company with like every shape, size, and color.
Well, I don't know what kind of a company you went to for the real estate.
I don't know why I fucking mentioned it.
Why did I mention
she's Chinese? Because she fucking was. It doesn't really matter.
And she might have had a dog, and she had a house with windows.
Yeah, maybe she had a dog. Maybe she
had a car. I don't know. It's
Fucking
just random
information.
Personal
details.
Yeah. It's
I was
great.
like, hey, miss, how you doing? Here's what I'm looking for. What do you got for me?
Okay, great. So, okay. So if you want to find an apartment and you want to bypass the whole guest house thing, I highly recommend that you just go to a bunch of websites, and all the websites that have like an English, not translation, but like an English section, they're probably going to be much better than the other ones that don't. So I'd recommend checking out at least 3 or 4 or even 6 different places.
Shop around, man.
Yeah, absolutely shop around. And if you can find an apartment that you just absolutely fall in love with, just grab it. And another thing is, okay, so key money. Let me explain key money. Okay.
Legal bribe.
It's not a legal bribe, dude. Once you sign a contract, basically, okay. Do you know what? Never mind. Okay, never mind. Okay, right. So, key money is basically money that you give to the landlord as a thank you for letting you stay there. And the only reason why we have it is because in World War II, all the houses and stuff were burnt down or blown up and stuff, right? So there wasn't that many apartments. So people, or apartments or houses or places to stay. So when somebody could actually find a landlord for them that would allow them to stay in like their building or something, they gave them key money for the key, money for them to stay there. So they gave like it was just like a little bit of thank you money or whatever. And generally it's anywhere from, I would say, half your rent, a month's rent, to a full month's rent. And some places have it.
I've seen it go 2 months.
Really? Well, that's
it get really crazy. Avoid. Abort.
I've never heard of that in my life. 2 months. That's ridiculous. But and then some places actually have it in part of their monthly like rent, right? So like for example, if you're paying like 90,000 yen or $900 and like rent every month, $50 might be considered like key money. So technically it's $900 rent, but you're paying $950. And that gets expensive. And if that's something that you want to avoid, just make sure you find out about that before you sign any contracts. And if you talk to your realtor, they'll be straight up because they don't want you to come back and complain, especially in today where everybody has like an iPhone where they can complain and whatever about like, any kind of a business. So they're going to be straight up, So anyway, those are some things that you got to pay attention to.
Also, one last thing, like even if you talk to the realtors, like even if you can speak Japanese, like the realtors still like want to make their commission because like basically realtors get paid dog shit. Where they make their real money is commission. So like I've seen they will bend over fucking backwards and try and talk you up to like, because I've seen it in real time. Okay,
yeah, that's true.
Another loophole you can't exploit. Suicide apartments.
I was just going to say that. That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's not just suicide. There's a lot of deaths or murder. Murder apartments are even cheaper from what I understand. But the thing is, like, here, I mean, it's a major city. A lot of people, like in all major cities, pass away in their apartments, right? Actually, most people do. And sometimes it's kind of heinous. And the thing is, if somebody dies in an apartment, that apartment is a fraction of the price. And I don't care which neighborhood it's in. I don't care if it's in Ginza, Shibuya-ku, Shinjuku-ku, Harajuku, any of these like beautiful, even like Meguro-ku, like these great areas or whatever, they're going to be a fraction of the price. And how I found out about this is that before we got my last place, my wife and I, we were searching around for apartments. We found this one that's up by your old apartment, up the street by the river, right?
I recall you telling me the story, but yeah, go ahead. This is a good story.
We found this amazing building. Like, the realtor took us to this amazing building that had, like, security guards that were, like, inside the building, right? Like, a lot of celebrities and models and famous people live in this, like, this building, right? This apartment building. And it was fairly new. I would say it's about 10 years old or whatever. And the keys to enter were kind of cool. It was, like, almost like a credit card, like a hotel, right? And I thought that was kind of cool. I was like, oh, wow, a credit card for your, like, your door
fucking
key.
straight up balling!
Yeah, dude, it was super sweet. And so, anyway, the realtor took us to the top floor. And she's like, here's the apartment. We put the key in, and then you put the key in the wall, and all the lights turn on and stuff. And I think this is like kind of like the pre-style to like maybe the Apple home that's coming up, right? Or like the AI home. So I was like, wow, look at this. This is great. And it wasn't too spacious, but it was comfortable, right? And we're looking around and we're loving it. And then we open up the curtains and we had this beautiful, gorgeous view of like Meguro River. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be absolutely spectacular. I really like this place. And then I go into like the kitchen. The kitchen's huge. It was about the size of this kitchen, but it was like more of like a square box instead of a rectangle. It was gorgeous. It was fantastic. I loved it. And then I asked how much it was, right? And I was expecting it to be like maybe 1,400, 1,500, maybe even more, probably even more than that, right? And she said something ridiculous. She said it was like nana mañanas. It was like
$700.
It was like $600 or $700. It was like a really, really ridiculous price. And maybe I missed something in the conversation that she was telling me earlier, or she was telling my wife and I earlier. Maybe we weren't listening. Maybe she told us about this, but like.
Well, they have to disclose that.
Well, they have to, but the thing is, like, I don't recall her saying anything about that, right? And this girl, she's like 20 years old. Like, she's like maybe it's her first day or something. I have no idea. Anyway, I'm like, what? Wait a second. This isn't right. This place is way too nice for it to be this price. And my wife's like, she starts asking, like, so why is it this price? Why is it so cheap? And then the lady,
the wrist cutting motion.
It was like a wrist cutting or like a throat cutting or like the symbol of death, right? I think it was wrist cutting. And she's like, yeah.
There was an accident here.
Yeah, she said something like that. This is like what, in 2012. This is 2012, so this is like over 10 years ago. So that's why it's a little fuzzy in my head. But she was like making that gesture, and I was like, what? And then my wife started talking to her, and I was like thinking, like, holy shit, it's like somebody died in here. And then my wife's like, she comes to me, and my wife's like, yeah, she said like the last young girl that lived here, she committed suicide in the kitchen. And I was like, she committed suicide in the kitchen? I never go in the kitchen. This is great. And my wife is like, no, we're not
Let's have a
here.
fucking seance.
I know. My wife's like, oh, we're not staying here. And I was like, no. But the place that we found after that it was much better.
I know, because like that actually got suggested to me.
Yeah, well, yeah. You're at that time they're tearing down your building, so
yeah.
I was
we were forced to. So like the realtor actually suggested one of the places was the place you're staying in now. We were like would have been exactly one floor below you,
right? Yeah,
and then the other one was like a minute or two down the street. Mm-hmm. And like keep in mind we were forced to move. This is kind of done in a hurry, and my wife was like 6 months pregnant. And my wife just fucking lost it.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the suicide house. But anyway, going back to the original point, there's websites that you can go to that are in Japanese, but with Google you can translate them to English, that are suicide websites and suicide kind of apps, right? Where you can find like suicide homes or murder homes and stuff or whatever. And it's kind of ghoulish or whatever, but the thing is, it's just like, I mean,
I don't know, man. Like you take what, like they'll take what you can get. Like they're very flexible.
Yeah, that's true.
Another thing is, have you stayed in one?
Huh?
Have you stayed in one?
I know I haven't, but I know you did.
I did.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, if you don't care about that, I mean, think about this, though. I mean, this apartment building here is like, what, 20, 30 years old? Which is like old in Japan. You know, anything over like 50 years old is like ancient here, right? So the thing is, it's just like...
They do like new stuff, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, it's just because of the earthquakes. They have to rebuild the apartment buildings. But the thing is this, though, man. Okay, so, yeah, there's chances are somebody's died in your apartment, right? Some chances are there's been at least like quite a few people have died in your apartment. A lot of animals, a shit ton of goldfish. Hell, maybe even a turtle.
Animals, but like it's just weird like cultural
having
thing.
a ghost dog would be kind of cool.
Ghost
dog.
It's just like a fucking weird thing with the Japanese because they're not religious at all, but they're very superstitious about that. And, like, same thing for you. Like, I suggested to my wife, why don't we just find a fucking suicide apartment?
Yeah.
And she just, like, fucking lost it. And he's like, we're not doing that. It's fucking creepy. And I was like,
just don't tell her.
Like, I fucking stayed in one. And I didn't realize, like, what I was. Because, like, I'd only been in Japan for, like, a couple years.
Tom, is that when you lost your hair?
No, that is not when I was there. That was a gradual process, man. It's called genetics. Fuck you, genetics.
Yeah, fuck you, genetics.
I made my peace with that. But, yes, I'm definitely going a bit thin up top. Anyway, but, like, yeah, man. Like, same thing. I was like, I was out in Chiba and I was like, house hunting. I was running into brick walls because it's just countryside enough. Like, gaijin dame. I kept hitting that wall.
Is that where you're trying to live now?
No.
Chiba?
Like, no, Chiba's no go. We're thinking about Kanagawa. Like,
Kanagawa's nice.
maybe I'll tell you. Like, yeah, Kanagawa's cool. No, we can't do Chiba because it's too far. Because my wife usually works at home, but she has to come in like once or twice a month. And she doesn't want to do Chiba. Chiba's fucking fine. I've been there.
Chiba's okay, but Kanagawa's much better. Kanagawa, I mean, just like
Kanagawa's cool, man.
Yeah, actually, you know what? No, I take that back. When you go to Deep Chiba's pretty sweet, and the beaches in Chiba are really awesome. There's a lot of like private beaches and underground beaches,
we
surfer beaches. They're great for barbecues.
I went there with my wife, like when we were still dating, but like we went with like a bunch of her friends. We stayed at like a friend's house. Like way down on like the southern tip of Chiba.
Yeah, deep Chiba.
Where like really deep. But they had like fucking amazing like peanut ice cream, which was fucking awesome. Like fresh fish.
Did you say penis ice cream?
Peanut.
Oh yeah, peanut. Okay.
Not penis ice cream. Right?
Yeah, I'm sure you loved it.
He's not fucking Taylor. one of our mutual friends who's very, very gay.
Oh, he loves dick. That's true.
He does love dick. But no, peanut ice cream and like, oh man, that was nice. Like fish was like fresh.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
But Kanagawa's great. I mean, the one thing about Kanagawa is you got those 2 express trains that go straight up to Shibuya. You've got the Denentoshi and you've got the Toyoko. So, I mean, that's awesome, Yeah. So very cool.
Yeah, but like one real quick thing I do want to say about the suicide apartments. Like, yeah, I stayed in one. I didn't know what was going on, and I asked, like, why am I getting such a great
Why are the lights flickering at night? And who is Takatomo? I hear all these names whispered in my ear, and I see spiders everywhere. They're all over me.
Buraku Kaisha, I was staying in, like, I was one of the fucking really fucking scuzzy, creepy, terrible companies that work you to fucking death. Working there, because, like... So when I came home, it was to pass out. It wasn't from doing like going out and like partying and doing the fun stuff. It was from like I was just fucking worked to that. I came home and like took a shower, went. But no, I lived there for a year. Never once saw a ghost or anything like that.
Never saw a ghost.
Nothing,
Are you disappointed? Are you disappointed?
I don't know. Yeah, it's a fucking letdown. But I was in a 3-bedroom apartment.
Jesus Christ! Wow.
And I was paying like $400 or $500 for a 3-bedroom.
In Tokyo?
No, it was in Chiba.
Oh, okay.
It was next door to Chiba City is the biggest biggest city in Chiba Prefecture.
Yeah,
but it was next door to Kashiwa, and Kashiwa is like the second biggest city. So it wasn't exactly like it was like a little bit like residential area. Okay, but it wasn't like it was like out in the sticks like Hickville.
No, that's cool.
No yeehaw, no banjos playing, or I guess it's like Enka.
Dude, what do you? It would be the shamisen, okay?
Shamisen.
Come on, dude. Come on, dude.
They play like fucking the shamisen and enka, but whatever.
Dude, I've never even seen a banjo in Tokyo, and I work in the music business. I've seen a mandolin.
I taught like a really high level adult class where we were doing different styles of music. I had to explain to them what a banjo was.
I do like the banjo though. I mean, a banjo is a very happy instrument. There's no such thing as a sad banjo song, right?
I don't know.
Could you imagine a sad banjo? Wait, what about the?
I don't know, man. Like you just
Kermit the Frog song.
You just like...
Why do birds...
I don't know, man. The banjo. I'm just thinking like fucking... That whole fucking... What was it like? You got a right purty mouth. I'll squeal like a bee. I just like...
It's called Deliverance, man. Deliverance. How could you forget about that? Anyway, okay, so, all right, and faders, if you have any questions about how to move to Japan or about dormitories and guest house and actually find an apartment, you can definitely contact Tom. You can contact him day, night, 24 hours a day. It's all good. I got his phone number. It's right down in the show notes. Tom knows everything. Oh, man.
On that note, like, we're happy to share what knowledge we do have, but also, if you are seriously thinking about Japan, like, go ahead and hit us up. But at the same time, like, keep in mind, like, fucking, I saw that, dude.
Yeah, don't contact me. I'm not gonna reply.
But like, I don't know if we're necessarily the best like people to ask right now because we've been here too fucking long.
No, that's why we are the people that you want to ask. You just said that you like lived in 20 different places. I lived in like what I haven't counted, but it's like 9 or something. But anyway, a lot of places. So I mean, pretty much we know the game, and I think now you know the game. And on that note, it's time for us to all play the game of news. So why don't we take a little break?
Cheers. Well, let's cheers it up and like
cheers. Yeah,
we'll be back for the news.
Okay, so let's take a little break, faders, and when we get back, we're gonna be here with the news. All right, peace. Whoa! Look at all this. Hey, what's up? I'm Johnny, aka the Spilled Ink, the one and only, and today I'm going to make a popsicle painting. I'm really excited to do this. I've got all my paints here. It takes about this much paint to make a popsicle painting, and I've got my 2 other most important ingredients. Very strong hot coffee. Oh, actually, that's not that hot, but still, it's strong coffee. And I've got punk rock music. With these 2 things, nothing could go wrong. All right, with that said, let's rock.
You are liked.
You are liked, wanted.
You are liked, wanted, and loved. You are liked, wanted, and loved.
If you want to get off the beaten path at Tokyo and have an unforgettable experience in Japan, well then, Gamuso welcomes you. Have a drink, enjoy a conversation, and make new friends with the locals at Gamuso. Gamuso provides fun and entertainment of all kinds, from live bands, stand-up comedy performances, to art exhibitions. There's always something exciting happening at Gamuso. Gamuso is located in the heart of Tokyo and just a comfortable 3-minute walk from Asagaya. So come on down to Gamuso. We look forward to meeting you.
Tokyo nights, neon lights, lost in the city, another life. Drinking sake, feeling right. Got faded in Japin, what a sight.